As we go to the highlights of the North Central first semi-final, we take you to the start of the second quarter. Scores are even. Your commentator, Rob Popplestone.
So the start of the second semi-final here, or in the first semi-final in the second quarter, the score's tied away at quarter time. A bounce down. Just repeating that Tim Noonan, taken from the ground on the stretcher in the first quarter. That fella there, Jason King, replaced and gets a quick kick forward. Nice place for Tala. Off the half-back line comes grandstand side. Steinberner's been busy early and kicks towards the boundary. 8 kicks to young Steinberner, and now the responsibility of keeping in check DB is the captain of the Roosters, Jay Viney.
Fair old responsibility, because Steinberner really covers some ground. Jay does too, don't forget that. Clever work, McGowan got it from Cook, now home. A long ball towards full forward. Hicks drops back on it. Oh, beautifully judged. As we introduce Ken Sheldon to our special comments.
Good afternoon, David. Terrific judgment by Hicks. He's been a little bit out of sorts since probably quarter time in the last final, where he just, well, did a few uncharacteristic things for Damien. His stats there, 4 kicks, couple of marks, couple of handballs. This is a very, very important kick for his side and also for his confidence.
He has one kicked in the first quarter. A real key for the Bulldogs if they're to have a tilt at the title this year. A lot of people think that when Schaefer went, it unsettled them. But they've also had James Wind, and oh, that's a beautiful kick. That is a beautiful kick. A kick of a quality player.
Terrific to see when you're struggling a little bit, as he has been, just in the last, let's say, hour of his football. The last quarter of the last final, the first quarter of this one. He's really got to mentally push himself through that. And he was able to take a good mark, settle himself down, and kick a fine goal from a long distance. The reason for that goal, centre bounce dominance from the Bulldogs.
2 minutes into this second quarter, first semi-final, the Bulldogs by 6 points. Again, they move it forward. Good work, Lurs tries to open up a pack. North Adelaide respond, though, and move the ball forward. First there was Robertson. McGowan with quick hands cut off brilliantly by Squire. Now the race is on. He opens up a path for a teammate there, was Armstrong, and gets a free kick for that player. Armstrong, half-forward flank. That left foot goes long. Parker fights hard to get position. Dropping what he should have taken, perhaps, was McGowan. Now Lee on hands and knees to Holm. A left foot kick forward. It's all North Adelaide, and dropping the ball was North Adelaide. But through numbers, it's Rosenboom. Outside 50, a kick forward is sloppy because it goes straight into the hands of Coffey, who under pressure gets a handball to Viney. And his kick forward's offline and out of bounds on the foot.
Well, concentration will have to really come to the fore for all these players. A classic passage of just mistake after mistake. Armstrong from North Adelaide, Coffey from the Bulldogs, and then eventually Viney missing what should have been money for old rope for him, missing an easy goal.
No doubt about that. This is McGowan, right half-back. A long one to half-forward. Rosenboom front position, 2 hands, brings the ball to ground, and here come the Grummers for North Adelaide. Gerke's there, King's there, and they bottle it up as Cook goes to ground for Central with the ball.
These two sides very evenly matched. Steinberner, you mentioned, with Viney on centre wing, Armstrong and Dew on the outer wing. In the midfield, you've got Morton, Gerke, and now King replacing the injured Noonan, with Holman, Cook, and the captain Girdham in the midfield for the Bulldogs.
King got it to Sutherland, who pushes it towards Lucas Herbert at centre half forward. Oh, Arnold did very well. He is turning into an athlete, this fellow, and growing in stature. So's this one, Steinberner, who kicks the ball and runs forward. See if he can't rove his own kick. Oh, too high, that one. Clear cut. Free kick to Sutherland.
You can see that clearly, left arm above the shoulders, umpire's correct.
The Roosters through a series of handballs to King, straight down that corridor. We've come to expect that in this first semi-final. A favourable bounce for Parker, goal number 3. Yes, sirree. Good work there by Brendan Parker to bring up his 3rd goal. And North Adelaide's 3rd goal, 4.5 minutes into this second quarter.
can see here the crumb as the ball comes in. Parker there just reading it brilliantly and then put it through. Conchimades on the left foot. Paul Geister, number 31. Perhaps Coach Chris McDermott will have to make a move there. 3 goals in the opening 5 minutes of the second quarter is not really a good reflection on the performance of your halfback flanker.
Stevie Wright will have to make a move, Ken.
Perhaps he will, yeah, being the correct coach.
Exactly. I think Chris McDermott will be pretty happy. Loose ball. Oh, that's a throw. Play on, said the umpire, and he's let it flow too, by the way. Steinberner in front of Viney. Now, what a battle that's looming to be. I like the man up, though.
I think it's terrific. You've got Viney, who's captained 2 SNFL clubs, being Sturt and now North Adelaide, a very, very experienced player, against one of the up-and-coming stars of the competition and perhaps future AFL.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think he has the attributes to be a top-flight AFL footballer. As Coffey flicks it out to Holm just at half-forward left. Had the opportunity of handballing over the top to Cook, who was running on. Gerke flanked him, so Holm goes back and pushes it in forward. Lures, thumps it down. Conway, handball, belts it on. Saywell, claimed by Armstrong, recovers. Flicks out the handball. Lures did well. Evades a tackle and bends it around the corner. An important goal for the Bulldogs. They stay in touch. In fact, they go ahead. And they're 4-3, leading North 3-3.
Terrific goal by the Bulldogs, just forcing it competently all the way down the members' wing with correct football structure. Their players getting into the right positions, the front and square of the packs, and then Lures just receiving the handball from Saywell was good enough to evade the tackle and then just drop the ball across his body, putting through a fine snapshot. That's a good confidence booster for Lures, playing at centre-half forward, alternating out of the pocket.
Coffey in the ruck for the Bulldogs. He's got hands to the ball on many occasions. On this occasion, it's probably a line ball, but Girdham for the Bulldogs sends it through Schwert forward. Hicks punched away brilliantly, though. First there for North Adelaide is Morton. Busy early in the first quarter, unsighted as a rule this second quarter. Squire cleverly, one hand, now settles and kicks forward. The player he's looking for is Collins. Sanford for the back lost his footing at a crucial time. Schwert was taken high, and rightly so, picks up the free kick. Schwert with runners behind decides to go short, finds a teammate in Coffey, who's been very good for the Bulldogs. Now changes direction of the play when Squire lost concentration for a moment and allowed Dew a few yards. Dew from a standing start. Kicks long. Hollett works him out of the contest, and the ball now falls in the hands of Cotton. Well, he's a good goal kicker as a rule, and you wouldn't believe it, from 30 metres out, on the boundary, brings up his first goal of the afternoon.
A brilliant goal on a natural left foot. Jared Cotton, number 44 in screen, able to put it through from the acutest of angles, running away from the play to the boundary line. A tremendous goal. The reason for that goal, simply undisciplined free kick right at the other end of the ground by Brendan Parker. The free kick going to Stephen Schwert. The Bulldogs able to take possession of the ball all the way down to the ground to finish with a 6-pointer.
None better than that. Cotton gets his 37th goal for the year. 37-22. He's been an accurate goal kicker as well as Herbert. Thumps it down. King claims it. Tackled by Saywell. The ball breaks free. Flipped out in the finish to Holm, who spins around. Gerke claims him. Girdham goes forward. Steinberner and Viney. That's a great one-on-one contest. And Sutherland wraps up Gerke. And Girdham, correction. And Girdham's second effort was fantastic.
Herbert gone into the ruck now for North Adelaide. His direct opponent, Damien Arnold, has now come down the field and is forcing himself out wide as another option. That will give Wayne Rosenboom, the ruckman for North Adelaide, the choice of either sitting back in the hole or coming out and picking up Arnold. Central District have to use Arnold if he is available.
Herbert to King. A one-on-one contest. Lee against Collins. Lee uses his body brilliantly. Really good work on that occasion, Ken, between Lee and Collins.
It's presenting itself as a good duel again. Another one where the old fox against the exciting new talent, up-and-coming talent.
Lee The old bulldog, perhaps. Well, no doubt he is that. 34 years of age. Beautifully placed kick, Geister. The umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt. He made the players earn their kicks today, the umpires. It's been a good exhibition so far. And Geister from left half back with Parker standing the mark. And he kicks into the man on the mark. Unforgivable. His confidence, Ken, seems to be at an all-time low.
As you can see here, nothing happening upfield for him, so he was forced to go back and kick long, but he just did not give himself the space.
Well, he's been a great player, Geister, for the Bulldogs. Went off to North Melbourne, had a couple of years there, found himself back this year, but hasn't regained anything like the form he had before he went away. Cleverly done, say well to Harada. Through half forward, 2-on-1 contest. North Adelaide did it beautifully. Sutherland, McGowan might give away 25 if he's not careful. And Sutherland will just relieve a little bit of pressure for North Adelaide. They need to get a goal on the board. They trail by 11 points. This is the biggest margin of the game. And Centrals are just steady. Cott cleverly to Saywell to Steinburner. There's three great young talents. Steinburner had good vision and just sold the dummy. Off it goes to Harada. They're running in line. Swatala, another of the young guns to Hicks. It was beautifully executed. Hicks marks outside 50. Back to Swatala on the run, and he spears it in forward. Conway was the target, but Holland good enough to flick it off the knuckles and concedes the point.
He's deserved better than that. Swatala not able to finish with the goal, but gee, beautiful foot disposal by the Bulldogs all the way down Football Park.
Brent Phillips for the Roosters. Next Magarey medalist himself. Who's hoping the Roosters can take the next step after this first semi-final. Straight down the centre of the ground. Gerke tackled. Good hands. McGowan to Steinburner. Outside 50. He's got one short and finds him. It's Tim Cook for the Bulldogs.
Steinburner in exceptional form, and there's just tremendous disposal to Cook, who really has started well. McGowan, the play, able to get that ball out. Started on the half-forward flank today and has played particularly well. Tim Cook, the left footer, should finish.
So Tim Cook, basically directly in front, should thread it straight through the middle and does. Brings up his first goal of the afternoon for the Bulldogs. They now move to their biggest lead of the day. 6-4, a total of 40. North Adelaide 3-4, 22.
You can see there the discipline spoiled back by Coffey. A good tackle laid on Gerke. McGowan quick on the loose ball. And Steinburner with good vision, good composure. Body over the football. Lace out to Cook, who finished with an excellent goal.
Cook has averaged, sorry, Ken.
I was just going to say, the reason for that goal, a good spoil by Coffey.
Cook has averaged just virtually 2 goals a game this year. His best return in his career. McGowan goes to ground, claimed by Gerke. The umpire was quick on the whistle and just restarts the big men. Umpire Craig Godridge, number 17. Puts the ball down in the middle of Football Park. A big crowd building for this double-header day. First semi-final and second semi-final. Jew cleverly steals the ball away. It's a booming torpedo punt. Hicks, 2 bites of the cherry, nearly grabbed it for the 3rd time. Not claimed by him, and looking at that.
Just notice Wayne Rosenboom a couple of times trying to body the opposition players. A man of his size basically can worry about them trying to body him. He just simply has to go for the mark. He is set as a kick behind the play, with North only playing a 5 and sometimes 4-man forward line at this stage, so he has to take aerial dominance back there.
Rosenboom against Conway. Over the top was Hicks. Dropping his head was Gurdon, but had presence of mind to move it forward. Now Cook around the corner to McGowan. Ricky McGowan. Goal number 1. Very dangerous off a half-forward flank. Central Districts open this game up.
.24 points to the margin there in the first semi-final, and we'll take you back to highlights of that game in just a moment. But for now, we're into the second semi-final. Port Adelaide taking on Norwood in a mega clash at Football Park. We can update the score for you. If you don't want to know, look away. And there it is. Well, for some, a bit of a turn-up. But we'll take you back now to the third quarter, the start of the third quarter of the first semi-final between North Adelaide and Central District, with Central leading 7-5, North a 3-5. Your commentator, Rob Popplestone.
So at the start of the third quarter here, the first semi-final, Central District's up against North Adelaide. Coffee up against Rosenboom, with Central District's leading 7-5 to North Adelaide 3-5. Ball bounced down. Morton for the Roosters. Left foot forward. Deep into the pocket. Robertson interfered with his opponent in Swatala.
Hasn't that been a fantastic duel this afternoon? A couple of real young guns. Robinson only 16 years of age, and Swatala not much older at 19.
As the Bulldogs transfer play, we see Holm, who come off interchange. Lockwood it is. Flicks it further to Coffey, who's been a star here this afternoon, playing in the ruck. Dominated proceedings, but kicks to his direct opponent in Rosenboom. Drops the mark, but quick enough to flick it on to Viney, and they pump the ball back into centre-half forward. Crumbing well there as the Bulldogs again. Lockwood again to Swert. Swert playing at half-back has been very, very good. Kicks it wide to the space. The race is on between Dew and Armstrong. Playing on the members' wing here. Been a good duel all day.
Another one of the young guns as well, Stewie Dew.
Roosters desperate to put a major on the board early in this third quarter. They go forward again through Morton. Now they need more from this player with Noonan off the ground. He goes towards the top of the square, but while Foden stayed in the goal square, the Bulldogs rush the ball forward. In front so well, duck the head at a crucial stage. Viney kicks off the ground, but it's all the Bulldogs. Herrera will be first there. Probably waited on the ball a little bit longer than he wanted to. Plays on now to Lockwood. Lockwood from half back. Centres the ball. Nice punch down by Phillips. The Roosters there first. It was Evil who gets a free kick. In fact, you'll find it's Scotty Sutherland to Morton.
As Morton pumps the left foot into the full forward area, and Parker it is. He's the key forward. He's kicked three, lining up for his fourth, and what an important goal this will be, Mark Naley.
Yeah, good build-up. I think they need to kick goals. Brendan Parker, as you heard Ken Selden say, has already kicked three this afternoon, lining up for his fourth. Much-needed goal is required for the Roosters.
So Parker. Composure. He is usually an excellent kick for goal. His approach is straight. Kicks it in right through the middle it goes. 4 points there for the Roosters, a very, very important one. They go to 4 goals, 5, trailing Central District 7-5 early in this third quarter.
Well, Brendan Parker, the only goal scored this afternoon for the Roosters. He kicked 4. Once again, a very good build-up. We see the big fella from behind, just a little bit too tall for Swatala. He really did reach to try to get a hand to him, but just couldn't quite get his hands there. And Brendan Parker, from around about 35 metres, directly in front, brought up his fourth major for the afternoon.
Just the start the Roosters wanted. Central District 7-5-47, North Adelaide 4-5-29. Coffey a thump forward. First there will be Lures. Davis applies the pressure. In hard there is Lee, as you can see, as is Davis. And Gerke comes along and praises teammate Jason King.
It's only an 18-point margin. Still anybody's ball game. Among the way the Roosters have started, a lot better than what they were in the second quarter.
Coffey's been good for the Doggies. Coming through was Phillips. Again, there'll be a bounce down. McGowan wants a free kick. It's not there though, Rick.
And rightly so. Good tackle by McGowan. Had one of Phillips' hands to the ground, so really the umpire should have called that holding the ball.
So Coffey it is again, smashing the ball forward. But Sutherland, desperate for the ball, playing very, very well at half-back for North Adelaide. Trips the ball, you can see the Port Adelaide players.
Ambrose at Trent Ray, northeast.
They're watching just to, I guess, work out the conditions for the next game. The wind blowing to left of screen slightly, so favouring the Roosters as Gerke Puts it high into the centre-half forward position for the Bulldogs. Lures flies, but can't bring it down. Hollett clears with a neat handball to King, to Sutherland. Back to Phillips. A chain of handballs. One too many, perhaps. No, they're out of trouble. Good experience there through Rosenboom, Phillips, and now long goes the ball through Sutherland. But a terrific mark in defence. Almost had a bad number of mistakes in a row there. Lockwood, Switala, and capitalising was Damien Squire. Playing at half-forward flank, number 24 for the Roosters. Registers his first goal. Been limited in possessions, but what an opportunist goal.
Yeah, great start by the Roosters in this third quarter. Just a mistake there made. Maybe Lockwood should have gone back. And the really didn't know who Switala was running into. Switala tried to get around. The ball's popped out. Squire onto it very quickly, and a great left-foot goal. But the Roosters are back in it.
Bounce down, Coffey and Rosenboom. Rosenboom gets a tap. Gerke, can he get quick hands? He can't. Steinburn has been good. Long handball to Dew. Under pressure. He's tackled brilliantly. Play on to the call. Coffey's also good for the Dogs. Goes forward. Coming out is now Saywell. He's got a runner inboard. The handball didn't find the mark. And now McGowan is under all sorts of pressure. Back to Saywell. Now Lures. Can they find a winner? A kick around the corner by the Doggies, Walton. It goes high in the air. Cotton flies high. And now a handball finds Conway. Goal number 8 for the Doggies. Central Districts 8-5-53. North Adelaide 5-5-35.
They certainly made hard work at that. Finally in up here. Cotton could really take that mark. Some good hands down low. And at the grass level by Girdham across the big fella and Conway. And gee, just to build up before that, they had a chance to kick the goal.
Conway's first kick for the game. The bounce down. Coffey it is with Rosenboom. Rosenboom with a right-hand punch. But Lee punches it back as far as McGowan. They link through the midfield. Girdham has come alive for the Bulldogs. Pumps it to centre-half forward. Davis allows it over the back. Lures, picks it up and flicks it on to Scotty Lee, who's run on well, and he drills it for full points. Scotty Lee, the back pocket player. 9 goals by the Bulldogs. Lead North Adelaide 5-5 early in the third quarter.
Well, we've seen that happen before. Scotty Lee running down from the back pocket. Just backed himself, knew that they had possession. There he goes, cutting through the half-forward flank and brings up his 5th goal for the year.
Scotty Lee, Ken, busy off that half-back flank. His opponent is Matthew Collins.
Been a good duel between the old fox and the up-and-coming youngster. But Lee, I think, would have full points at this stage.
Central District by 18 points. In fact, 24 points now as a result of that goal by Scotty Lee. Bounce down. Again, Sutherland in all sorts of trouble, centre of the ground here at Football Park. The first semi-final. There is no tomorrow for the losing side.
Well, probably I'll just double-check my figures here. That's Scotty Lee's 10th goal for the season.
Oof, great work.
From the back pocket.
A full back-line player, very good. King comes through. McGowan edges it forward. Now Collins, he needs to rectify a mistake made or a lack of concentration where Scotty Lee, his opponent, goal just earlier on, and they go forward to the Roosters. Viney fights hard. Paris Foden, his first touch of the ball. Sanford to Collins. He'll want to drill this one. Settle, Matty. He does. He kicks from outside 50. And Parker, with 4 goals to his name, has the opportunity, Martinelli, to bring up goal number 5.
How was the determination just shown on Matty Collins' face? He broke the tackle through 2 Bulldogs opponents and put the ball to the top of the square. Inside 50, could have nearly made the distance. Off balance a little bit, but big Brendan Parker, really the only North Adelaide forward taking marks.
Parker now from point-blank range. Bang, straight through the centre. Goal number 5 to Brendan Parker. And the Roosters now edge closer. North Adelaide 6-5-41. The Bulldogs 9-5-59.
You see Collins there. Determination written all over his face. Big Brendan Parker once again in front of Geister. Takes a strong mark and kicks the goal. The Roosters just hanging in. Just fighting back. Back to a 12-point margin.
18-point margin, in fact, as the umpire's about to bounce the ball again. 10 minutes in almost to the third quarter. Say well it is, but he's tidied up by King. A good tackle, number 34 in screen. Come off interchange to replace Noonan. You can see Danny Holm there in screen. His left calf heavily bandaged. 8 kicks, 1 mark and 3 handballs. Had been a fine contributor too up until that stage. Scotty Lee it is. Reads the ball well. Change of play. Flicks it out to Benjamin Walton. 17-year-old playing only his second game here. Ricky McGowan, one of the very experienced players for the Bulldog, puts it laced out in front of Hicks, who takes a fine mark. And from deep in the members' forward pocket, will perhaps have a shot for goal. A difficult shot it will be.
Very wide. Damien Hicks had 2 goals so far this afternoon, lining up for his third. Very difficult in the southwest pocket to kick a goal at the best of times.
The wind will carry this right to left. You can see here, Hicks, good approach, good kick. And as we said, coming across the face of the goal, spilling to the back, Rosenboom using the safety of the boundary, fooling the umpire yet again. The balling will take place.
Well, Big Coffee, we see him there in screen. A great duel today with Rosenboom, possibly on top. I think Coffee's had something in the vicinity of around about 9 marks, 10 marks at this stage. Really has been at 9 marks so far this afternoon.
Rosenboom taps down to Morton. Morton from a standing start, kicks to Squire. They've had a good duel, Squire and Schwert. But on this occasion, the ball over the boundary line, a throw in. As the crowd starts to build in the second semi-final.
Robbie, just talking about Coffee and Rosenboom. Rosenboom's only had the 1 mark, where we, as said before, Coffee's had 9. So I reckon Coffee around the ground really has been exceptional.
Been very good, hasn't he? The player we just spoke of gets the tap down to the skipper of the Roosters in Viney. At quarter time, scores were locked away at 2-3 apiece. Central Districts, through a great second quarter, added 5 goals, 2 to be 7 goals, 5. North Adelaide 3-5. 11 minutes into this third quarter, the margin's just 18 points. Central Districts 9-5, 59. North Adelaide 6-5, 41. Now Phillips, quick hands, Morton around his body. Can he keep it in play? It'll be close. Sanford over the top, gets hands to the ball. And the throw-in will take place.
Good healthy crowd here at Football Park. We've got a big game this afternoon, the second semi-final play between Norwood, the minor premiers, up against that traditional club, one of their favourites in Port Adelaide Magpies.
The outer wing deemed to push in the back there by Coffey. And a free kick will be taken by Glenn Sanford, the former Collingwood player, been a good performer for the Roosters since coming across to Adelaide. Collins had the opportunity. Steinburner, who was electric in early passages of the game. To Saywell, who's been a very good performer also. Down to Cotton. He's in good fettle. Should have been paid that perhaps. Swirt pushes the ball further forward to Lee with a left-hand handball to McGowan yet again. McGowan with good foot disposal finds Simon Lures. Lures wide at half forward, out in front of the scoreboard, pumps the ball towards full forward. They set themselves. The Roosters are there in numbers and clear it to the members' wing through Scotty Sutherland. The race is on. Can Ju pick it up? He's outnumbered 4-1. Has the class to get something out of nothing there and kicks it in forward. Rosenboom perhaps paid the mark. Oh, play on it is.
Good call by the umpire. We saw Big Rosenboom plunge himself across there. Just gets a hand on it first. But gee, good gallant effort by Jared Cotton from behind. But good umpiring. Could nearly have paid that.
Well, the umpire was right into the front and right hand of your screen there, so he was right in the perfect position to pay that call as play on. The bounce down will take place 20 metres from the goals.
Rosenboom against Conway. Lures over the top, quick kick. Ebel now in all sorts of trouble, dropping the ball 20 metres out from the Central District goals.
And nowhere to go to Ray Ebel. He's been in great form. The dying part of the season. We just see here, went one way. Should have given it the first one, but had no one there. As we saw, good tackle by Jared Cotton. Made sure he pinned him and took him to the ground. Once again, good umpiring. And this should bring up Jared Cotton's second goal for the afternoon.
Well, he should kick it. The easiest of goals, in fact, for Cotton. A natural left footer. the wind blowing across his body from right to left. Should not make a mistake at all here. It's his approach. And as simple as you like, through it goes for full points. The 10th goal to Central District. They lead 10 goals 5, 65 ahead of North Adelaide, 6-5-41.
We're back out to a 24-point margin. We see Lewis over the top. Conway tries to kick it forward. Ebel had the ball off the, was cleared off the pack, off the smother, but just couldn't get the ball out quickly enough. Had King there to assist. Unfortunately, good tackle from behind by Jared Cotton. The umpire, the right decision. They got it right once again.
Well, the Roosters, after edging closer, now find themselves again 24 points behind, and now an infringement against North Adelaide sees Coffey with a free kick in the centre of the football park. Goes long to Cotton. All of a sudden, he's on fire. Abel. Good work there by Abel to put pressure on Cotton, but Cotton too strong in the air. Jared Cotton, 9 kicks and 5 handballs, now kicks to the leading Lures. He's got the sit too. Rosenboom gets hands down. Now Sanford lends a hand from a standing start. Left foot kick towards the centre of the ground, but it's all the Bulldogs. And Stephen Schwert will now go short. Finds Cook. Central District starting to build. Again, they go short. Trying to find a crack in the North Adelaide armour. They go short again. And Hicks, Kenny Shelton, has turned the corner this week.
Certainly has. Lining up now for his 3rd goal, kicking into the breeze. What do you think, Mark Daly? To make the distance?
Well, this really would make this game interesting. If he kicks this, they'll go out to a 30-point margin. And really, at this stage of the game, it's going to be pretty hard for the Roosters to get back. They've thrown everything at them early in the start of this quarter. They got back to within 12 points. But it's quickly blown back out to 24. And as I said, if Hicks kicks this, it'll be a 30-point margin.
So his approach, he's spinning the ball, kicking directly into the face of the wind. It will be sheltered by the stands here, the corporate stands. A good-looking kick. His teammates applaud. That's full points to Hicks. That's his 3rd. The Bulldogs 11th. 11 goals, 5-71, leading the Roosters 6-5-41.
Well, it really is staying in the middle of the ground with Coffey, who really has been an exceptional day. He's up against a bigger opponent in Rosenboom, but he's out-tapped. He's had 12 hit-outs as Coffey to Rosenboom's 10. But again, they've just got the little players. Their midfield, since the loss of Tim Noonan for the Roosters, the Bulldogs midfield's got on top McGowan, Gurdon, and also the young Tim Cook.
Bounce down. Rosenboom gets hands to the ball. A free kick, this time favouring North Adelaide. Behind play, it'll be Squire with the ball. North Adelaide now in trouble, have to find something. They go searching again. Foden flies high, but doesn't find the footy. And Lockwood mops up for Central District. Goes to the outer side. The race is on. Saywell with pace, and also Steinbrenner. Saywell gets the ball to Cook. Steinbrenner's hard to stop when he's got a yard in front, and he goes long now. Conway waits from behind. Laws gets hands to the ball again. Clever hands to Cotton on his right foot, offline and out of bounds on the full.
There's good defensive work. They're under a fair bit of pressure there for the Roosters' back line. The players just streaming forward. But just did enough to make sure Jared Cotton didn't bring up his 4th goal for the afternoon.
As the ball's kicked long to the outer wing by King of the Roosters, but only as far as Herrera, who brought the ball to the front, and it was all tidied up. Stephen Swert, the player in screen there, playing at half-back, wearing number 40 for the Bulldogs. A particularly good game.
Well, Coach Chris McDermott, Ken, really has kept his players in their positions this afternoon. Hasn't made too many changes. I think he may have to. He has to make them right now. Just needs some injection in that midfield. Danny Morton, and also his cohorts in there in Gerke. Just not doing enough. Possibly someone like a Matthew Collins needs to come onto the ball. Maybe a bit of experience of Brenton Phillips needs to go into the middle. He just needs to break it, because at the moment, Coach Stephen Wright has got players mining people like Morton and also Gerke fairly tightly. They're just not getting enough drive through the midfield.
So it was pretty evident prior to the game that Coach Stephen Wright, the Bulldogs coach, was going to tidy up the North Adelaide midfield. He had a bonus when Tim Noonan, perhaps the best of all the midfielders for the Roosters, left the ground through injury. But players like Cook have been in fine form here today.
This play
Steinbrenner,
here too. Steinbrenner's been exceptional.
a lot of the footy as he puts the ball out in front of Lures. Lures is good enough to tap it further to Hereda. Hereda can't quite handle the ball cleanly. He does now. Pumps it back into the goal front as they compete. Holland, fine form, in front, as all good backmen should be. Takes the mark. Transfers play through Armstrong. A natural left-footer Armstrong kicks the ball long to the members' wing. The youngsters there, Swatala and Robertson. Robertson with good pace, but he's outnumbered 4-1. Jew, 17 on his back as a 17-year-old. 16, in fact, Swatala. And Hicks, can he take it to the front? He grabs it his own crumb, puts it on the left foot. Poor finish in the end. And defensively it is punched through by Ebel for another behind for the Bulldogs.
Well, just too much. The Bulldogs has got too many players running with confidence at the moment. Players that have been down on form. Stewie Dew hasn't had much of the football over the last month. McGowan's been fairly quiet as well. Lures had a quiet game last week. Hicks hasn't been signed over the last 3 weeks. All those 5 players have been very instrumental in this lead of 31 points up to this stage of the game.
Saunders goes searching for Rosenboom, but again Lee up forward, a quick kick. The Roosters under pressure once more, marked by Conway, play onto the corner, kick off the ground by Cotton, was again out of bounds on the full. And the free kick will be taken by the Roosters, Rodney Saunders. He kicks outside 50, Rosenboom with the sit. Steinbrenner with pace and class goes inboard. Cook, well, he's dangerous in these sort of situations. Can he do it again? He can. Tim Cook, goal number 2. And for Central Districts, 12-6-78. Extend their lead over North Adelaide, 6-5-41.
That player on screen just there, Nathan Steinbrenner. I don't think Ken will be a quicker player in this competition at the moment. We just saw the pace and he just broke. Look at this. Takes on the opponent, ran past 2 as though they were standing still. Chipped the ball across to Cook. Cook didn't panic. He had time, had no pressure. But a great kick on his left leg to score his second goal for the afternoon.
This makes you wonder what's in store for the youngster, doesn't it? Football at the next level, perhaps next year. Certainly has the pace and skill to make a fine mark on the game. The Bulldogs clear it, but only as well it's successful as Scott Lee takes the mark right on the members' wing. Kicks the ball long into centre half forward. Good space created by Lures. And a fine kick it was. Another fine kick finds Hicks, but they're leading strongly, these Central District Sports at the moment, and their disposal from centre wing. A total contrast to what it was in the second quarter, where their kicks from the wing into the 50-metre zone were missing the target. Now, with the extra confidence, they are finding it lace out. Hicks will line up for his 4th goal.
Really, if he kicks this goal, you nearly kiss the North Adelaide season over. So it's all goodbye, at least. It really has been a great quarter by the Bulldogs.
So they've kicked 5 so far. Hicks lining up for the 6th for the quarter, 22 minutes in. He will kick from 40 metres. Direct into the teeth of the wind and just to the left. So 1 behind, resulting Central District 12 goals, 7-79. Lead North Adelaide 6-5-41.
So Hicks 1 in the first, 1 in the second and 1 in the third. As Hollett goes short for the Roosters to Ebel. Back to Hollett. Left foot, long leg. They need a winner here. Been rebounding off their half-forward line. Sanford got first touch. Coffey under pressure. The ball bounces out. First there, Davis. Good pressure applied by Girdham. Collins fights hard, as does Davis for North Adelaide, and Scotty Lee comes in late just to hold the ball up. Good contest.
Changes been made. We see the big fella in Conway come off, being replaced by Damien Arnold. At this stage of the game, Bulldogs coach Stephen Wright can afford make these moves.
Dew it is who runs onto the ball. He has a raider if he wants to use him. He elects to take it all the way. Has 2 bounces, kicks strong with the left foot towards goal, but just spays to the left. Another behind for the Bulldogs. 12-8 they are. ADB leading North Adelaide 6-5-41. Gee, what good play there on the burst.
Yeah, good positive direct football, but that comes when you are playing with confidence. And at the moment, the Bulldogs' confidence is very, very high. A few of the past players going past. Good to see him here this afternoon.
Saunders brings the ball back into play, but it's all Bulldogs. Dropping short on that occasion, Arnold couldn't quite tuck the hands underneath the ball, and King holds in Girdham. It'll be a bounce down, centre half forward. Bulldogs kicking to the southern end of Football Park. The slight cross breeze. Bounce down, Rosenboom. Over the top, Arnold. Girdham! Nice hands under pressure. The Bulldogs go forward. Coffey. One touch. Couldn't get the second touch. Play on to the call. Hollett pops up, goes short. He's got an option in Foden. Finds him too. Foden's got a panic in front of him. Goes short. Finds, a short step taken by Squire. Got himself into trouble rather than out. And now Foden mops up. A long kick to centre half forward. Parker with the set, flies high. Gerke, nice crumbing. He was met strongly. Now Phillips gets around too. Nice play, Brendan. And he kicks from goal. That could be just what the Roosters need to get themselves into this game, Nails. Brendan Phillips, one of the most experienced players running off a half-back flank.
Yeah, good work by Brendan Phillips. You heard he's run down from virtually a back pocket to kick that goal. We saw Scotty Lee earlier for the Bulldogs do the same thing from his back pocket. But a bit of experience shown. They've still got that desperation. The intensity is just there. They just need a bit more of it from a few more players.
So 26 minutes into the third quarter. It's the Bulldogs by 33 points. Up they go, the big fellows. The clash. Only we'll see another ball up take place.
Just one player that has been very, very quiet, has been picked up by Stephen Sweat at the moment, is Richard Gerke. I think the Bulldogs match committee realised just how important he has been over the last few weeks to the Roosters.
Arnold and Rosenboom. Rosenboom only as far as Walton. Kicks the ball out to the outer wing. Swert, it is the player Mark Nally was talking about. Up and off the deck to McGowan. McGowan, the left foot inboard to Lurs, who again is finding space, giving Davis the run around at this stage. On the link is Saywell. Saywell puts the ball out in front of another leading forward, and it is Hicks. He has been brilliant in this third quarter. Hasn't been far short of brilliant all day, in fact, and will line up for his third attempted goal from 45 metres. He's kicked one, he's missed one. And this one, I think, by no means beyond him, mate.
Well, the change has been made. You can hear the applause in the background for their captain in Roger Girdham. Number 41 for the Bulldogs coming on, and Sean Chambers.
So Hicks kicks the ball around his hand, something that I don't like to see players do. He lines them up. Kicks the ball strong and true. 13th goal to the Bulldogs. 4th to Hicks. 13 goals, 8, 86. They lead the Roosters. 7 goals, 5, 47.
The Bulldogs come into the final series. We're having a bit of a horror run, losing 3 of their games to the bottom 3 sides. But last week, I believe, they did turn the corner against the Magpies. And today, they've come out and just shown how good a side they are. They're not out of the finals race yet.
So 51 more kicks to the Doggies in this game to date. Ball bounced down. Coach Steve Wright would be buoyed by the fact that they've got some goal-kicking forwards, whereas, as Mark Nally mentioned, in previous weeks, not only have they been getting beaten, but none of their forwards have looked like winners. Today, both Lures and Hicks have been very, very dangerous. Again, now McGowan's been busy also. Quick hands out to Arnold. His left foot kick forward. Goes towards the player we spoke of in Lures. On this occasion, though, Davis gets first hands to the ball. Under pressure, a kick off the ground by Cook to Cott. And now the Bulldogs are on fire. Big Damien Arnold brings up his first major of the afternoon in this third quarter and extends the lead. 13 goals, 8 to 14 goals, 8-92. North Adelaide, 7-5-47.
Just see good work by Cook, striking the ball to the ground, gave Cotton a chance, but Cotton had 4 or 5 players that he could have handballed it to. But they're running in numbers, they're running with confidence, and it does make a big difference to a side when you have those ingredients.
the bounce down. 29 minutes into the third quarter. Favours Rosenboom. He collects the ball out of the air and then is tackled well and should be penalised. He is. And Damien Arnold, the player that just kicked the last goal for the Bulldogs, it's the very next kick out of the centre. Flicks it on to Stuart Dew. Dew with a left foot, a strong kick he is, and what a kick it is. Almost hit Hicks' lace out. Chambers dodges around, can't quite find a teammate, and through come the Roosters. They clear as far as their captain in Viney. Jay Viney on the outer half-back flank. Kicks the ball long to half-forward. And the ball successfully spoiled by the Bulldogs to the safety of the boundary line. Paul Geister in screen.
Boundary throw-in, Sanford. As the siren goes here, three-quarter time at Football Park. Central Districts extend their lead, 14 goals, 8-92. North Adelaide, 7-5-47. You're watching the first semi-final action on ABC Sport.
.45 points at three-quarter time in favour of Central District. They're looking pretty good to go through to next week's preliminary final, aren't they? But stay with us. We'll bring you more of that in just a moment. And I can tell you, if you haven't already heard the score, it's going to be a lot closer than anybody thinks. You'll enjoy the action, I promise you. For now, we can update you. We're into the second quarter of the second semi-final between Port Adelaide and Norwood. And here's the score. If you don't want to know, look away. So not a bad scoreline there for both clubs. I think you'll enjoy the last half live. Stay with us after this little segment, the final quarter of the first semi-final. We pick up play 13 minutes into the final term, and your commentator is Mark Nayley.
So Central Districts, they're 14 goals, 10-94. They lead North, 8 goals, 8-56 at the 13.5-minute mark of this last quarter.
North Adelaide setting up with a defensive zone where they have players set up just protecting areas of the ground, so it makes it difficult for the opposition to clear the ball out. Stephen Swart taking the kick out from Scott Lee, only 10 metres away.
The Swart kick, a high bomb. Lockwood was the target. Cotton marks on the chest. Robertson and Lockwood went at it and both went to ground, and Cotton was left for the easiest of chest marks. A high ball, Lures is the target, manhandled by Davis. Play on, said the umpires. Chambers tries to crash through, and holding the balls to the umpire, had the opportunity of getting it out and couldn't. And Sutherland not happy with a little bit of extra attention.
Yeah, I'm not so sure whether that should have been holding the ball.
I think the umpire said he had the prior opportunity, tried to crash the tackle and couldn't, and that is the rule, isn't it? Not badly enforced on that occasion. Phillips, Short, and Parker, the 5-goal man. He's kicked 5 goals, 1 today, Parker, from 8 kicks. He's been a very 5 goals, 2 from 8 kicks.
Will unleash here, I would say, with the traditional torpedo punt.
6 marks, 7 handballs.
He goes for the drop punt.
No mark, Geister. Off hands, King couldn't get through traffic. Arnold wraps him up, and that's holding the ball. Free kick to the big ruckman. Arnold wins one.
You can see here just weight of numbers there, and terrific tackle by the Bulldogs.
Scotty Lee brings it out. Mark Hollett up against Bowen Lockwood. Hollett's got support inside. He uses him. He's taken from behind. Lockwood has now the time and the space to run. He takes 2 bounces. Decides now to get onto his boot. He goes forward. Coming out strong as Hicks. Back there is Evil for the Roosters. He's got support in Davis. Now it's North Adelaide's turn to run it out. He goes over the top. Coming back inside. Matty Collins just chips it forward. Comes back. Squire from outside 50. Pushes the ball out to Saunders. Plenty of space to run into. Scotty Lee gives him about 5 metres to use it. Scotty Lee just playing around with Rod Saunders. Now goes for the boundary line. Will it make it across? It does. The boundary umpire will throw it in.
finishing touches of both of these teams coming off centre wing, looking to hit a target inside 50. It's really left a lot to be desired at certain stages of this game. It isn't that windy out there, but gee, when you've got clear possession and running down the field, you've just got to be able to put it out in front of your forwards.
Geister off, Paredes off, and Conway on. Coffey thumps forward a handball. Smatala over the top of it. Scotty Lee's had 15 kicks, 6 handballs, by the way, out of a back pocket. Pretty fair result. Oh, Davis, one-handed attempt. Lures stole it. Tries to feed off. Gets support now from Steinberner, who's been outstanding this afternoon for the Bulldogs. Runs away from Gerke. Good shepherd by Cook. And watch him go. The speedster. Shades of Vivian. And to full forward he goes. Conway the target. Collins off the ground. I was going to say Peter Vivian. Milky Vivian. Shades of that. Evil. Collins. Good combination, and the Collins kick allows Robertson to run onto it, and this fellow has been very, very impressive in his rookie year, and still only 16. Towards half forward, big fly from behind Coffey on Sanford. Loose ball falls, Parker picks it up, shoots for goal. It's offline. 5-3, the big fellow.
Being very dangerous up forward. Replay here of it.
Good throw there. You see Stephen Swert looked as though the hand nearly got to the ball, didn't quite make it. So Stephen Swert had a good battle from a half-back flank. At the moment standing square, shut down Gerke in that third quarter. He comes across the ground. Scotty Lee. So Scotty Lee just goes forward, just holding possession of the Bulldogs. Goes out to Dew. Now Dew drives the ball up, looking for McGowan. McGowan takes a good mark in front of his opposing number in Viney. The 223s. Ball goes out, back to Dew. Dew holds it, decides to play on. Will go for holding the ball. He gets it across to McGowan. On to Walton. Walton drives the ball more direct towards full forward. Conway couldn't take it, neither could Hicks. Hollett's in there, handballs the ball forward at Sutherland, across to Morton. Morton goes wide at the Phillips.
Gerke short, Dew just chops him off. We're 18.5 minutes into the final quarter of this first semi-final, and the Bulldogs are going to win it, no doubt about that. They'll face the loser of Norwood and Port as Parker rises and marks 50 metres out. He's kicked 5 goals, 3. He drills it in long, and a mark taken here by Rosenboom. Well, Ken, you might just give us your best players quickly.
Oh, well, no doubt to mind the best player on the ground, Coffey. In ruck has led the way all the way. Steinberner's been good, as has Cook, Sawell and McGowan for the Bulldogs.
Thanks for that, Ken. As Rosenboom lines up, Central's a 14-10-94. It's a goal to Rosenboom, but the Roosters are losers today. They're 9-9-63. You've been watching all the action on ABC Sport.
Big Rosenboom there in screen. It's his first goal for the afternoon. We see we're back in the centre here, the 20-minute mark, nearly at this last quarter. 31 points to the Bulldogs. Gerke starting to find the ball late in this game. Over Sanford's head, coming out as Geister. Couldn't quite get the ball out. Morton very good at ground level, gives it across to Phillips. Going for his second for the afternoon. He brought it back far enough. I think he has. Brenton Phillips.
Well, the advantage of centre bounce clearance, and Phillips it is again. Finishes off. Morton picks up the loose ball, flicks it out in front of Phillips, who's good enough to collect it, balance himself, and put through a fine goal from a long angle on the run.
Well, David, 25 points with about 10 minutes to go. Can they do it?
They certainly can. The Crows proved that yesterday. And this North Adelaide side, when they get their running game going, are awesome. So still time in this match for them to get back and win and advance in the major round, if they're good enough. Quick kick out of the middle and over the top of it, Geister. Girdham handballs to McGowan. The Bulldogs need to dig in here and just stem the tide, and this is just the man to do it. Steinburner, clearly the best man for the Bulldogs, no doubt about that, as Ken Sheldon told you. And Davis clears it away. Viney, Sandford, Morton's got it in front. And look at Gerke, drifting downfield. The kick just didn't have enough on it, but Gerke recovers, spins out of trouble, needs support, concedes ground back to Morton, and look at the lead. It's Parker coming forward, but inboard, it's Sutherland. Feeding off now to Paris Foden. Uses his pace, the big man, and drills it in. Look at this. It's a mark. Saunders, 20 metres out directly in front, and they trail by 25 points. A goal here brings them back to 19, and anybody can win from there.
Saunders, his third shot for the quarter. From similar distance, absolutely needs to kick this, his second goal.
One goal, one to Saunders since coming from the back pocket to full forward. He's got his second. They're back within 19 points, and they're a chance.
Good play by Fowden. Good composure by Danny Morton too. Also Richard Gerke handballed the ball backwards 30 metres just to set it up again for the Roosters.
The changes had to be made in that third quarter. North Adelaide coach Chris McDermott's put one of the experienced players, Bretton Phillips, into the middle, along with Squire, and also Danny Morton. So you see Paris Foden jumping high over the top of Coffey, coming out as Cook for the Bulldogs. Outside of the square, he goes direct towards the goal face. Going back hard was Collins. In there also is Hicks. Comes down to McGowan. McGowan, great tackling by the Roosters defence. We've got a game of football on our hands here. Ebel on the half-back flank, puts it out front of Sanford. Sanford takes it. He wants to get the ball moving quickly. He has the running players in Morton. With him is also Robertson. Coming hard out was Parker to try and take out Squirt. With the Roosters, they've got their feathers flapping. They realise that they're in this game. They've got a chance to progress to the preliminary final next week. 19-point margin, 23-minute mark of this last quarter.
Chris McDermott still confident that his side is good enough to win this one. Steinburner, who's been outstanding. The tap came from Geister. A long bomb into the forward zone. They need a mark here, North Adelaide. Viney dropped back on it. Lures, picks up the crumb, shot for goal. Good night, the Roosters. It's all over. Lures gets his second. The Bulldogs 15-10, North 11-9. You've seen all the action on ABC Football.
See there on replay, Nathan Steinburner. Viney just spilling the mark. Lures able to collect, but when the chips have really been down, it is Steinburner who has had two very important clearances from a throw-in or ball-up situation. That also combining with Cook, who got the last centre-bounce clearance. Their midfielders, they have been dominant all day, the Bulldogs. They've had a little lapse here in the last quarter, but they've responded again.
Back to 25 points. Bowden gets another touch. Phillips coming through. Could be his last game for the Roosters.
Might not be too.
He's only 34.
Only 34.
Could be, I said.
That's
They're
good.
the important words. 11 marks, 10 handballs, 21 possessions. Really has been a good afternoon for Bretton Phillips. Bowden again, a good knock forward. Coming through with Sutherland. He gives it across to the running Squire. He's a left footer. Inside 50. He's got it home. The Roosters are still there.
Squire's first goal. Number 24 for the Roosters. Second goal, in fact. Kicked a snap earlier in the game.
Hit the post, didn't he?
Very talented left-footed half-forward flanker. Been shifted into the midfield in the last quarter and has responded, almost doubling his possessions, I would say, for the day.
Seven possessions to Squire this term. Chris McDermott, well, dares to think he can win. They're 19 points down. We're 25.5 minutes in. There'll only be 3.5 or 4 minutes tops left in this game as Davis pirouettes out of trouble. Lures, who kicked the last goal for the Bulldogs, pushes it forward. Viney, the two number 23s, McGowan and Viney. Warner over the top of it. Coffey just provides the contest, and Warner drags him down.
I think the other thing that Coach McDermott would be inwardly very pleased with is the fight that his side has shown, like looking into adversity, particularly with the loss of Noonan and the way that the Bulldogs really did career to a commanding lead. They have fought themselves back into a very respectable scoreline.
Fair enough, and I think Brenton Phillips might think they've got something exciting next year with their youngsters coming on. He might just hang around for another year and really get a tilt at the title.
Looked good across half-back of the Sutherland. Phillips, we mentioned, Davis.
Of course, they'll have Perkins back next year. Hodges, Lehman back. They'll have some fair runners. They might lose Morton in the draft, we suspect, but they'll take on a formidable lineup. No question about that.
Parker, of course, a key focal point up forward. 5 goals to date in this game. Tremendous individual performance.
They'll have Jeffries back as well. Now, Sutherland rebounding from half-back along the outer wing, just drifts up a left-footer to Parker. It doesn't quite sit kindly for him, and Swatala comes up
The
right.
umpire, David, is called deliberate.
Well, it was. Good decision.
He's going to move moving quickly, does King. He drives it in, looking at the back of Saunders. He gets his hands to the ball. Lee won't panic. Gives the ball a bit further across to Cook. Cook onto his left leg, drives it back. He's only found Parrish, Fowden. So Fowden on the outer wing. Time is running out for the Roosters. Comes back inside the Sutherland. He needs support. He's got, looks like Gerke. Still to side the centre square. The Roosters goes forward to Phillips. Phillips from inside 50 needs support. He was taken from behind. Also there was Davis, who's run down from a half-back flank, but Nathan Steinberner, the Lager, puts down the foot, takes 2 bounces, comes back to Lockwood. Lockwood goes out wider. Viney comes down. Tremendous courage shown by Jew, who gets flattened. The ball driven back. Which way will it bounce? The favoured Fowden, it doesn't. We see Lewis just prepare to go for the boundary line. He's found it. Just buying a little bit of time. There's a centre-half forward for the Bulldogs.
It's good tactics by the Bulldogs. Time will defeat North Adelaide now. She's just been very impressed with the form of Scott Sutherland. Only 23 years of age, good turn of pace, and has really settled into the back flank with North Adelaide this season, having formerly played most of his football on the wing for Sturt. His disposal, he just looks to be far more confident.
So it's all over. It's finished for North Adelaide in 1997. The Bulldogs advance on Ken Sheldon. They were terrific, particularly in the third quarter.
Particularly in midfield. Their dominance was paramount. The outcome of the game was set up by Grant Coffey, was terrific in first ruck. Cook, Saywell, McGowan, Cotton, they were all terrific. Steinberner, perhaps none better on the field, and Hicks responded with 4 fine goals in the full forward line. Lee was also terrific across the back line for the Bulldogs. Whilst for the Roosters, Sutherland perhaps their best, with Parker kicking 5 goals.
So the Roosters going down to the Bulldogs here this afternoon. The final scores are 15 goals 10, 100 points to the Bulldogs. North Adelaide, their season is over. They're 12 goals 9, 81. If you're seeing the game on ABC Sport.
Points the final margin in favour of the Roosters. It was a great game of football. We hope if you weren't here, you've enjoyed it on ABC, bringing the finals of the SANFL exclusively into your homes. Well, after the match, a very happy Brian Herrera caught up with Rob Popplestone.
List after a long haul, Brian, you'd be pretty happy just to win a game.
Oh, no, I think we've been travelling not too bad last week, and it was good to have a win, though, that's for sure.
Talking about last week, of course, it was a return to form, even though you didn't win. They seemed to lift a level in intensity and aggression at the ball.
Yeah, well, I guess finals does that, and we pretty well secured top 3, and we were looking forward to the finals, and we stepped it up a little bit last week, and obviously again today, I reckon we stepped it up again today.
Well, it's been pretty disappointing the last few years in finals for the Central District side. Any preference to who you play next, or you really don't mind?
No, we really don't mind. We've had a pretty low-key build-up this year, which in the last couple of years we've had a pretty big build-up, so we're going about it a bit different this way. So far it's paying off, I reckon. The
general feeling around the club, obviously it would have been a little bit down to the dumps because you haven't been in good form, but obviously this is just what the club needed, and there was no chances left after this one.
No, I mean, it has been a little bit down this week. It's been a bit quiet, but I mean, this is what we were looking forward to, and we were looking forward to today's game, and it was a good win.
Now, Daniel Holm, I sent him on the bench, a problem with the calf.
Yeah, just got a bit of a kick in the calf and just resting up, making sure he's all right for next week.
And Roger Gurner spent some time on the bench today, but we've become accustomed to that over the season.
Yeah, the old man, he's getting a bit sore, but he's still putting in, and he's just resting him up.
Good on you, Brian.
Thanks,
well done today, and congratulations, and all the best for next week.
Thanks, Ron.
And an interesting game it's set up for next week, hasn't it? The loser of the second semi-final, either Port Adelaide or Nord, and scores are pretty close in the second semi-final. Stay with us, we'll bring that match to you live very, very shortly. As Mark Nayley joins us, Mark, it was a wonderful first semi-final, and you've got to suggest that North Adelaide had their chances of winning.
Yes, they did. I mean, they got within 12 points in that last quarter, David. I mean, they had their chances, but Central's, they've turned the corner. I mean, last week against the Magpies, they were very, very good. Unlucky to lose, but today's game, they're back and forth, and I don't be surprised if they make the grand final.
They could do, indeed, on their form. Goal kickers for both sides. Parker was the leading goal scorer for North Adelaide with 5. Saunders kicked 2 goals after coming to the full forward position late in the game. Phillips, the veteran, the 34-year-old who turns 35, and we hope that he'll go on. Word is that he might. Squire with 2, Rosenboom with 1, and for Central, Hicks was the leading goal scorer with 4, Cotton with 2. And there's the stats, Mark. Central dominant in the kicks and certainly in the air.
Yes, we see that, but also their ruck after that. I mean, they played Coffee, which is a little bit surprised to the people at home. I mean, we saw Conway at full back and saw Arnold up the forward today, but Coffee, fantastic effort there. I mean, he had 30 hit-outs compared to Big Rosenboom's 24, but the game was won with the handballs and also the kicks. I mean, they dominated that area, but the Roosters, still to their credit, were very, very good.
So the final score in the first semi-final, Central District, 15 goals, 10, 100, defeated North Adelaide, 12 goals, 9, 81, and advance next week into the preliminary final. You caught all the action on ABC Sport.